This video is sponsored by NBA 2K. They brought me all the way out to LA to play 2K19 early, this demo version, this early build of the game. And I got to play for a few hours, so I'm gonna give my impressions. Look at Curry making it splash from way downtown. This footage is actually D-Man right here. They're trying out the blow-by animation. There it goes, but Draymond Green was way out of position. They're gonna try it again, and you see some resistance, but he hits him with a nice crossover move, and then he bullies him for the layup. I've got about 2 to 3 minutes of gameplay that I'm gonna be looping over and over as I'm giving you my impressions. As I said, I've played a few hours, and I even got to play a few games with 2 of the 2K devs right there next to me as I'm talking to them, discussing, giving them my feedback. Scott OG was in the building, and also Mike Wang. Look at that lob to LeBron James. You already know, when I saw Mike Wang, the first thing I asked him, I said, "Did you fix the zigzag cheese?" And look at this move from Lonzo. Oh baby, the spin move to the behind the back pass. Gotta take one more look at that. Had to go into replay mode. This was so nice. Spin move, and it didn't even hit anybody's bodies. It was perfect. It didn't go through anybody's. A perfect pass, a perfect finish. So when I asked Mike Wang about the zigzag cheese, he said they got rid of it. So I had to laugh. I said, I've heard that before. I'll believe it when I see it. So in that game, with him sitting right next to me, and I'm playing against Joel from Operation Sports, we spent an entire quarter trying to zigzag cheese. And we couldn't figure out how to zigzag cheese, but look at this. Lonzo throws a perfect alley-oop. Kuzma catches it in midair. He's getting ready to dunk it, and it gets rejected by DeMarcus Cousins. He didn't tip the pass, he didn't block the pass or stop the pass. He blocked the dunk in midair. So now Cousins, he's gonna show us his strength. He knocks down McGee. Hits him with a fadeaway on the baseline. That is a murder. And here's another good clip that I'm gonna talk about as well. Durant is over dribbling, so I'm gonna reach in and get the steal. It's a lot easier to do this in the game. I'm gonna throw the lob up to LeBron James. It's the Lake Show. It's showtime. Gotta take another look, another angle of it. You're dribbling too much. Give me that. It's that 5-finger discount. So let's talk about the zigzag cheese. We wanted to prove Mike Wang wrong, so we spent an entire quarter trying to zigzag cheese, and it was very interesting because they took out the animation. So for example, when you're at the top of the key, let's say you want to go to the right side of the court. Your player in a half-court setting, he's going to be facing the basket, and if you try to go to the right wing, he's going to dribble laterally with the ball in his right hand, and he's still facing the basket. He's not going to completely turn his body to go run to the right. That doesn't happen anymore. And then as you're moving laterally, you're not even moving fast, you're moving slow. He's not going to have any type of speed burst, and the defense is going to be able to keep up. And then if you want to go back to the left, guess what? He's just going to switch the ball to the left hand, but he's going to protect it. He's going to do like a crossover, keep it low. Then when it's in his left hand, he's going to do the same thing. He's going to dribble laterally to the left, but he's going to be slow. So there's really no advantage to doing it. As a defender, it doesn't do anything. You're not put out of position. You're not going to leave him wide open. You're just wasting seconds off the shot clock by standing there and trying to do it. We couldn't get it to work. We could not figure it out. We tried it with all the dribblers. We tried it with LeBron James, with Rondo. I tried it with Lonzo Ball. I tried it with Curry. I tried it with Durant. I couldn't figure it out. I tried it using turbo. I tried it without using turbo. I tried it tapping turbo. I tried it with jerking the left stick back and forth like crazy, like some people were doing in 2K18 because it was out of control. I couldn't figure it out. We could not figure it out. Maybe the cheesers are going to figure out how to do it. I couldn't figure out how to do it. Joel from Operation Sports couldn't figure out how to do it. We wasted an entire quarter and got no traction on the zigzag cheese. It was very interesting. Next, I wanted to talk about the blow-by animation, and it's still there. If you've been watching this footage, you've seen LeBron James do it. It's definitely still there, but it's not as dangerous or effective as it was in 2K18. There's some resistance. And even in the clip, if you've been watching, you see Draymond bumping LeBron, pushing him away. LeBron does get free though. And in the games that I played, he was bullying Durant. He was getting by Durant, just completely blowing by, and there was nothing you could do. But with a lot of the other players, that wasn't the case. With other players that aren't LeBron James, a lot of times you would get stopped or you would be very slow as you're trying to blow by, and they wouldn't let you turn the corner. They would push you to the right or to the left. They would push you outside of the paint. And then you could also reach in as well and knock the ball loose. So there were a lot of ways to resist this animation that felt so automatic and just so overpowering in 2K18. It's still there. There's some type of combination of ratings and maybe badges that determine the success rate. LeBron was still able to do it and bully people for the most part, but it was nice to see that there is some resistance. In 2K18, this animation was a huge problem. People would literally attempt to do this on every possession. That was their strategy. Call a 5-out set, have everybody standing, push forward with turbo, get free, either go for the layup or dunk or kick it for the 3. It dominated the gameplay online, my team, play now, whatever you were playing online. And it was devastating. It was a fun factor crusher. It was repetitive. It's like when people were doing the 7-foot demigod, everybody was a 7-foot demigod. The community, when they find something that works, they literally just want to do that and nothing else. So it was encouraging to see that there is some type of resistance that obviously we're all going to have to master and figure out. Because in 2K18, it felt like you were on an island when somebody is attempting to do the blow-by animation. And the blow-by animation did not exist before NBA 2K18. This was a new problem that they introduced. That's what made it so frustrating, because we never had this problem before, and then now we have something that everybody is abusing. Next up, I wanted to talk about the on-ball steals. It's a lot easier to steal the ball when somebody is dribbling. If you're paying attention, you've definitely seen the clip where I rip Kevin Durant clean because he's dribbling out of control. That is so encouraging to see that. But the only bad thing is that in my time playing, I never organically knock the ball loose. It's always an animation like that, where the two players engage and they're kind of fighting for the ball comes loose. Sometimes as the defender, you then can pick up the ball. But I've never, for instance, swiped my hand when somebody was dribbling and then just poked it loose on the perimeter. So I never went to replay mode to see if I actually hit the ball, but you know what I'm talking about as a 2K gamer. It's not that dynamic and organic. If somebody's over dribbling and you reach in, there's going to be some type of animation where the players are fighting for it. I'm guessing the only way that they could actually do this was to just have more animations when you're reaching in. And every time you reach in, sometimes you get a reach in foul. But as 2K gamers, how many times have you been in a replay mode where you swiped at the ball and your hand hit the ball, but the ball never came loose? I don't think we're going to have that type of stealing in 2K19. In the hours that I played, I never saw a steal like that where I just did a simple swipe and I knock it loose like that. It was always an animation like the one that I have in this video where I steal it from Durant. They have several different versions of that animation. It doesn't always look exactly like that, but it's not that free-flowing stealing that everybody's looking for. Like in the passing lane, you know how when you pass the ball where you're not supposed to, you can tap it and it can go in different directions and you can snatch it. It's not as dynamic as that, but it is better than 2K18. You feel like on defense, if somebody is fooling around a little too much, or even if you just have a good defender and you time it right, you can prevent them from just spamming the dribble. So that's a good sign. Next, I got to talk about the heavily contested shots. This game still has issues where you could be wide open, or maybe not wide open, but open, and then the game is saying on the meter that it's heavily contested. So I actually had 2 instances where this happened to me, and we brought it to Mike Wang's attention, because when we were talking to him, he told us that if that happened in this little demo that we were playing, to bring him over so he can see it, make his little changes, make his adjustments when he gets back to the lab. So the first instance, this was actually funny. I was playing Joel from Operation Sports. I hit a game winner with LeBron James. He was on fire in the 4th quarter. I hit a leaning 3. I left 1.1 seconds on the clock. So he gets the inbound after a timeout, and he comes off a double screen with Durant. So I get caught on the screen, and I'm thinking, man, that's it. I lost. Durant's open. He's going to knock down his 3. So he shoots the 3. He misses the 3. But then the meter says heavily contested. And we couldn't believe it. So we went into the replay mode. We brought over Mike Wang. LeBron James was literally not even there. He didn't even get a hand up. He was stuck on a screen. And then McGee was actually behind LeBron. McGee was like at the free throw line, in between the free throw line and that little circle above the 3-point line. He was trying to contest the shot, but there's no way that that should be categorized as heavily contested. So we let Mike Wang have it. We showed him the replay and he's talking to us. He's like, yeah, you know, we're like, nah, man, nah, you know. And then another example of the heavily contested cheese meter failure. I had Lonzo Ball. I was driving baseline and then I threw up a pump fake. Sean Livingston was defending, but Sean Livingston went out of bounds somehow. So then I'm open. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna take this mid-range with Lonzo. Lonzo actually does a funny fading type shot. I don't know why he did that. Maybe he was off balance. But anyway, Sean Livingston is trying to contest the shot now, even though he's out of bounds and he's not even close to him. So he jumps, and then the meter says heavily contested. So we bring over Mike Wang again. We go into replay mode, and he says, all right, I see what's wrong with this one. I got to make a little tweak, blah, blah, blah. So he knows about it. He knows about these heavily contested, because that's frustrating, right? You're playing this game. It's happened to us in 2K18. You see it says smothered or heavily contested, even though you're open. You look like you're open. You feel you're open. It shouldn't say heavily contested. Now, I'm not saying that every single shot needs to go in, like even the Durant 3 that didn't go in at the buzzer. Not saying that that shot should be a guaranteed make, but it definitely shouldn't have said heavily contested when he had all that space. I mean, Kevin Durant was popping threes in LeBron's face in the finals in transition. And LeBron had better position there than he did in these examples. Now let's talk about just contested shots. They felt pretty good. I was playing against Brian Mazik, the writer at Forbes, and his Klay Thompson was killing me in one of our games. He made like 3 contested threes. That's what Klay Thompson does. I didn't have a problem with that. I didn't see anything too crazy going on with contested shots. My only problem was those heavily contested examples when I was open. But everything else felt pretty good, because in the NBA, sometimes you do make contested shots, so you can't get mad if a shot goes in that's contested. It's going to happen sometimes. So it felt pretty good. Now let me talk about the dribbling. It's definitely improved, and if you tap the left trigger, you can do this hesitation stop dribble that then can be chained into a crossover, behind the back, a drive left, a drive right. You can really get creative with it. It's nice. And it's really useful when you're in transition or when you're moving forward and then you pull that move out, because then it gets crazy. I did not have any ankle breakers. Nobody fell down in the hours that I got to play. I didn't make anybody fall. I did get by people and I did cross people, but nobody fell to the ground. So that could be good, that could be bad. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Everybody has a different opinion about that. Next, I want to talk about layups. In transition, I made a lot of tough layups that normally you wouldn't make in a 2K game. With Rondo, with LeBron James, with Lonzo, with Curry, with everybody. Even and one layups after getting bumped in transition, which I think is a good thing, because on the fast break, you should be able to make tough layups when you have the advantage. But you're still going to miss a lot of layups when you're in the paint. You get an offensive rebound, you're surrounded by defenders, you're still going to blow a lot of those. But in transition, it's a lot better. You're able to make tough layups that you normally in a 2K game you wouldn't make. So I actually like that, but you guys let me know what you think about that in the comment section. If you're happy to hear that or if you think that's bad. The last thing I can talk about quickly, it's got to be the rebounding. It was the same that we're used to. Guys are sometimes grabbing rebounds they shouldn't be getting. They're flying all over the place to get them. There was one play that was obnoxious. Lonzo Ball. He was in front of the rim, but there were other players that were closer that should have gotten the rebound. He jumps up, gets it, and then when he lands, he's like on the baseline on the left side of the backboard. Like, how did he go from the front of the rim in midair? He literally just moves in midair to the left. It was hilarious. But just like always in 2K games, the rebounding can get out of control. You see guys flying and grabbing stuff all over the place. That's pretty much all of my impressions, what stood out to me when I was playing. Let me know what you're thinking, and let me know what you think of this Ghetto footage, this Ghetto gameplay. It's a tradition. We got to get that Ghetto cell phone gameplay up here before the game is released.